Welcome everyone, this is Ashley from the Kamloops Y, here to bring you a core workout today. We're going to be focusing on those abs, glutes, and the posterior chain. No equipment is necessary for this workout, but if you would like to add a little bit of something, you can bring some dumbbells along, just to add a little bit of resistance, and I'll show you how to incorporate those as we go along. So let's get started with our warm-up, and then we'll get right down to it. Let's start with a nice big opening of the chest, just crossing those arms across the body. Open that chest and a little round through that spine. Good, starting that breathing, nice and steady, big breaths in, big breaths out. Good. And engaging through that core right from the beginning, pulling that belly button in towards the spine, standing up nice and tall. Good. Let's take those arms and bringing them down next to the body and reaching up to the ceiling. So you've got that nice big stretch down the side of the body. Gentle bend in those elbows, gentle bend in the knees. Good. Big reach up, filling the lungs. Good. Let's add a little bit of a pull. So take it up, big reach, and pull those elbows down towards the floor. Good, big reach, drive those elbows down, warming into that back, pulling the shoulder blades together. Big reach and pull. One more time here. Good, now let's take those fingertips and reach them down towards the floor, just hinging at those hips, keeping the back nice and flat, keeping that core engaged, feeling the stretch down the back side of those legs. As you come up, pressing those heels down into the floor, engaging into those glutes. Good. Now let's take those hips down towards the floor. So we're coming down into that squat position, sinking those hips down and back. Good. Just taking at your own time and your own range of motion. Maybe getting a little deeper each time you come down as those legs start to warm up. Good. Let's step it out nice and wide. Taking it down for that squat, nice and wide. Getting a little bit more into those hips, into those inner thighs and glutes. Good, sink it down. Press those feet into the mat. Good. Coming up, let's take that heel to the glute, just a little march, keeping the knees pointed towards the floor, bring the heel up towards the back side, warming up into your quads. Good. Now taking those knees out front, nice big march. Getting those arms involved, starting to get the heart rate up. Good, coming back into the center, taking a nice big step out. We're just gonna sink side to side into that lateral lunge, sending those hips back behind us. Good, one more on each side. And coming up, bringing those feet together and just a little rotation into that spine, taking it side to side. Good, letting those eyes follow. Getting a little bit bigger range of motion each time you come through the center. Good, bringing it back into center. Let's take a nice big breath up, sinking down into those hips. Come on up. One more time, bringing it down, fill those lungs up, and breathe it out. Wonderful, all right, we're nice and warm, ready to get started with our workout. Coming down to the mat, we're gonna come onto our back and into a reverse tabletop position. So bring it down to the floor, settling down onto your mat, bringing those knees up. I want you to take those arms up over the chest. Opposite arm and opposite leg are going to reach long and draw in. Reach it long, draw it in. Good, so you can take this body weight only, like you're doing here, or if you'd like, you can add in a dumbbell and make that a little bit more challenging, pulling that belly button down towards the floor. Nice big long extension. Reach it long and draw it in. Good. Using your breath. Each rep is a breath. Good. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it in. Rest those heels down. Roll it up if you need to take a little breather. And we're going to take it to the opposite side. Coming down, bringing those hands up. Opposite arm and opposite leg. We're going to reach it nice and long. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. Good. So if you need a little bit of a modification here, you can either just focus on just those legs, or you could focus on just that arm, or you can work on keeping that leg a little bit higher, taking some of that leverage off of the core, a little bit of the pressure off of that center. Good. Reach and pull. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it in. Roll it up if you'd like. Nice big breath in. Now we're going to take 2 arms and 2 legs together. So we're going to roll it back down into that tabletop position, bringing those arms and knees up, and we're going to reach those out nice and long and pull them in. Reach it out and pull them in. If anytime this becomes too much with the 2 together, you can take it to an alternating right and left, just bringing it back to that single arm, single leg. Good. The key here is to make sure that that belly is pulled in towards the floor, protecting that low back and keeping that core engaged. Good. Reach and pull. Good. Breathing nice and steady. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come on up, take a quick little breather. Grab a drink if you need it. And we're gonna take it back to the top. So we're coming back to that single arm, single leg. Second round through here, if you wanna go ahead and add a dumbbell on, we can make it a little bit more challenging, adding that additional weight. So we're taking those knees up into that reverse tabletop position, holding that dumbbell over the chest, opposite arm, opposite leg are extending nice and long. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. Good. So that dumbbell is completely optional, just adding a little bit of extra tension. Good. That center is working hard to counterbalance as we move that opposite arm and opposite leg. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Rest it down. We're going to switch sides. Taking that dumbbell in the opposite hand, bring it down, opposite arm, opposite leg. Reach and pull. Taking it at your own pace. It's all about that stability and control here when we're working on the core. Don't worry about speeding through. Nice, solid reps. The longer and lower that leg and arm are going, the more challenging it will be. Good. 3, 2, and 1. All right, are you ready to put them together? We're gonna take the 2 out together, bringing it down into that reverse tabletop. Dumbbells over the chest, knees are up, reaching long. Reach and pull. Good. Reach it long and crunch it in. Use that breath. Good. Anytime that dumbbell becomes too much, you can always pop it down to the side and just keep working through body weight. No problem. Still super challenging to the core, still getting a great workout, just working with that body weight. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax it down. Awesome. So we're going to give that front side a little bit of a rest and work into those glutes. Again, it's totally optional if you want to add those dumbbells in. I'll show you body weight on round 1, and then we'll take a look at adding those dumbbells in on round 2. Grab a quick drink of water if you need it. And we're going to come back down to the floor for a glute bridge. So we're coming down with our back on the floor and our feet are under those knees. Hips are on the floor. We're just gonna lift and lower into that glute bridge. So right from the floor, I want you to think about squeezing those glutes in together, lifting those hips, and controlled lower. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. So right from the floor, you're thinking about pulling those cheeks in together, and then slowly and controlled lower it back down to the floor. We're not worrying about how high we can get that hips, but rather how tight can we squeeze those cheeks together. Good. Pressing into those heels, feeling those glutes and hamstrings engage as you raise those hips up towards the ceiling. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower it down. Now we're going to take it to a glute bridge march. So we're going to work into that single side, alternating right and left. So we're going to press the heel down into the floor as we march up, lift and lower. Switch, lift and lower. Good. Join me when you're ready. Press into that heel, lift the hip. Good. Anytime you need to scale back and keep those 2 feet on the floor, by all means, go there. We're just making it a little more challenging, taking it to that single leg. Good. Take your time on the way down. Lots of work to be had, lots of strength to be gained on the way back down. You might feel a little shake into those hamstrings, totally normal. Good. Let's take one more on each side. And relax it down. Now we're going to take it into a hold. So we're going to come up into that glute bridge, both feet planted on the floor. Lift those hips up, squeeze those glutes together, and just hold. Just squeezing those cheeks as hard as you can together. Holding there, keeping those hips nice and square to the ceiling above. Equal pressure into those feet. Really thinking about connecting that mind and muscle together. Squeezing those glutes together. Breathe. Let's hold for 10 seconds. Squeezing a little harder. 3, 2, and release it down. Good work. All right, come on up. We're gonna take it to round 2. So same deal as round 1. And if you'd like, we're gonna add those dumbbells on. So we're gonna take it just back to that glute bridge. Optional, add those dumbbells in if you'd like. We're gonna put them on the hips, put those feet on the floor, and lift and lower through the hips. Here we go. Press the heels into the floor, lower back down. Good. Lift, lower. I want you to start that squeeze of the glutes right from the floor, so no waiting until you get to the top. Think about engaging those muscles right from the time they're leaving the mat. Good. As always, dumbbells are optional. Just keep it with the body weight if that was feeling challenging for you already. Good. Make sure you're breathing, keeping that nice steady breath going. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax those legs for a second. You can take those dumbbells off if you need a quick little break, and we're gonna take it to the march. Again, adding those dumbbells on if you'd like, or we're gonna march it out. Single leg, lift and lower. Lift and lower. Now what you might find more comfortable, just to take that single dumbbell on the hips and lift and lower. Or no dumbbells at all. Just focusing on just pressing into that hamstring, or sorry, into the heel and engaging that hamstring. Good, nice and control. Focus on that stability and strength. Let's take it one more on each side. And relax it down. All right, add those dumbbells if you'd like. And we've got our 30-second hold to finish off this first set of glutes. Plant those feet, lift those hips, engage the glutes, and hold. Good, breathing nice and steady, sending that energy into that back side. Of course, those dumbbells are optional. Anytime you feel like you need to set them to the side and just focus on that breath and focus on the hold, take it there. 10 seconds, just breathing. Squeeze a little harder. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take those dumbbells to the side. Come on up, quick little breather. Grab a drink of water if you need it. And we're gonna roll over into our plank position. So we've done a little circuit focusing on the front side of that core and those abdominals, a little bit of the glutes, and now we're gonna work that posterior chain, so that back side of the body. Rolling over into your plank position. Now you can take it to the knees or up onto that full plank on the toes. It's totally up to you, but either way, you want a nice flat back, that belly is pulled in, and the core is engaged. If you're up on those toes, we're gonna bring it up, palms under the shoulders, nice neutral spine, quads are engaged, glutes are engaged, pressing that energy out the heels and out the top of the head. We're first gonna start with a shoulder tap. So we're just gonna take that plank, whether it's on the knees or the toes, and we're just gonna tap those shoulders. And we're gonna try really hard to minimize that side to side rock, holding it nice and stable, whether you're on the knees or the toes, working really hard to keep those shoulders and hips in line with the mat. Let's take it up in 5. Find that perfect plank position, palms under the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Tap, tap. Take this at your own pace. Anytime that it becomes too much, I just want you to practice holding that plank position, whether it's on your knees or your toes, just working on finding that strong plank position, whatever your level is today. Good. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Rest it down. Come on off those palms if they need a little rest. Just roll those wrists out. And we're gonna take it down to the elbows, so onto that elbow plank. Just gonna move these out of the way. And we're gonna come down with those elbows underneath the shoulders. Again, you can come to those knees, or you can bring it up onto the toes. And we're gonna tap those hips down to the floor. So tap, center, tap, center. If you're on the knees, same thing. Tap the center, tap and center. Pulling that belly in towards the spine. Good, making sure you're breathing. So easy to want to hold our breaths when we're working into the core. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Rest it down. Go ahead and come off those arms if they need a little rest. Shake the hands out, roll the shoulders back, and we're gonna hold. Coming down to that plank position on your elbows or up on the palms, wherever you feel more comfortable, knees or toes. We're gonna hold for 30 seconds. So come on down, find what position works best for you. Up in that whole full plank, down on the knees or on the elbows. Here we go. Take it up. Let's hold. Doing a little check-in. We've got elbows underneath the shoulders, quads are engaged, glutes are engaged. We're sending that energy out the heels and through the top of the head. We've got a nice neutral spine. Good. Tighten it all up, pull that belly button in. Back is nice and flat. Breathing and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Relax the back. Give those shoulders a little stretch. Settling that chest down into the floor. And rocking back up. All right, are you ready for round 2? Taking it back to that shoulder tap. Find your plank position wherever's comfortable for you today. Here we go. Tap and tap. Don't worry about rushing through. Just taking time to find that balance and stability. Feeling yourself recenter. Every time you're moving that palm, that whole body is working to find that balance again. For 3, 2, and 1. Good, rest it down. Shake those palms out. And we're gonna take it to that hip tap. Bring it down to the elbows. In 3, 2, here we go. Tap and center. Tap and center. Nice and controlled. In that lower down to the floor, make sure you're not just letting yourself fall. Good, 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Rest it down. And we're gonna hold, finishing off this little plank series with a 30-second hold, either up on the palms or down on the elbows. Find where it's comfortable for you. In 3, 2, and 1. So the further those feet are open, the more stable that plank might feel. So if you're a beginner and you're still finding your way through this plank, you can feel free to open up those feet a little bit wider, giving yourself a little bit of a bigger stabilizer. Holding for 5, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Come on up off those hands, grab yourself a quick little drink, and we're gonna move back to a little bit more of that ab work. All right, coming down onto our back, we're gonna work into those abdominals a little bit further, incorporating a little bit of the obliques this time. So we're gonna come up into a sit-up with a little side rotation as well. So we're gonna come all the way off the floor. Hands can be over the chest. We're gonna come over to the side, back down, and up to the center, back down, and over to the other side. So side, center, side. Let's take it there in 5, 4, 3, 2. Here we go. Bring it up, a little rotation, roll it down. Good. So again, on this one, so much work to be had on the way down. Make sure you're not rushing back down to the mat. Take your time to roll it down, nice and controlled, like you're sticking a sticker down onto a piece of paper. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way down, I want you to bring those heels up into that reverse tabletop position. We're gonna tap those heels and then crunch it up. Little tap, little crunch. Good. Controlling that lower down. Working into that lower belly. Good. Making sure you're breathing, making room for that crunch. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Heels come down to the floor. We're gonna bring those palms up towards the ceiling, lifting those shoulders up off the mat. We're gonna reach for that heel into that oblique crunch, side to side. Keeping those shoulders just hovering off of the mat. Belly is pulled into the floor. Eyes are gazing towards the ceiling, so we're not straining through the neck. Reaching and tapping into that heel, side to side. Think about bringing that top rib down towards the hip. For 10, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower it down. Reach those arms and legs out nice and long. Let the ribs come up off the mat, stretching into that front side. And we're going to take it to round 2. Again, if you want to add in a dumbbell, a great option to add in here in that side, center, side crunch. So let's take that dumbbell up over the chest. Arms are nice and long. And let's take it up. Side, tapping down, rolling back down to the floor, center, and side. Good. Find that little rotation in getting those transverse abdominals, so those ones deep down inside that help us with that rotating position. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take that dumbbell up over the chest, bring those knees up, tap the heels, and crunch. Tap and crunch. Good. If you want a little extra, you can try and press those shoulder blades up off the floor, sending that dumbbell up towards the ceiling. Good. Control those heels down. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Set that dumbbell to the side, and we're gonna finish off with those heel taps. Come on down. Palms to the ceiling, lift those shoulders, and reach. Reach and tap. Good, this one's a burner, so stay with me. Breathe into it. Good, 10 seconds. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Lower it down. Good work, stretch it out. Breathe. Good job. All right, let's take it back to those glutes, giving those abs a little bit of a rest. We're gonna roll it over onto all fours into a tabletop position. Grab a little drink if you need it. I want you to come to that tabletop position so the knees are under the hips and the palms are underneath the shoulders. We're gonna extend one leg out nice and long, reaching that toe back. We're gonna lift that leg and tap out to the side and back. So a little rainbow position where we come up, tap, and back, tap. Here we go. Sticking with this same leg for this first round. Working all into that same side. Reach it out, tap, reach it back, tap. Good. Making that arch with that leg. Good. Keeping those hips and shoulders square to the floor. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it in. Same leg. We're gonna send that heel up towards the ceiling. Hold the belly in, nice flat back. Extend that foot up and in. Up and in. Good. Engaging into that glute. Sending that heel up. Taking that little pause to squeeze and engage at the top. Good. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. I want you to come down to one side. We're just gonna come down onto that elbow and bring those knees together into a little clamshell position. So bent leg position on that hip. And we're gonna come up off of that bottom knee. So I want you to do a nice big open lift and close. You're really gonna feel that work coming from that medial glute, so that side part of your bum, and those obliques, both working hard together to get that lift in. Here we go. Let's take it up. Lift and open, bring it down. Lift and open, bring it down. Good. Use your breath. For 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring it down. Beautiful job. Rolling back into that tabletop position. I'm just going to walk it over so you can see my working side. I'm going to take that leg out nice and long again, so working that opposite leg on round 2. We're going to stretch that leg out nice and long and tap that little arched rainbow tap back to side. Back to side. Good. Good. So we're pulling that belly button in towards the spine, keeping that back nice and flat. Working hard to keep the hips and shoulders centered. Good. Big lift and tap. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring that knee in. Taking that heel up towards the ceiling. Nice flexed foot. Power through the heel. Lift. Lift. Good. You should feel that big glute engage as you drive that heel up towards the ceiling. 5 seconds. 2, and 1. Good. Taking it to the side body. Working that opposite side. We're going to open and close. Nice big press up off the mat. Here we go. Bring it up and down. Good. Take your time here. Take time for each part of that movement. Feel that big squeeze before you lower back down to the floor. Good. 2 more nice big lifts. Last one. And lower it down. Good work. All right, great. So we have one last circuit. We're gonna take it over into our tabletop position one more time. Bringing it over into that tabletop, palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're gonna bring it into our bird dog position, reaching that opposite arm and opposite leg out to the room ahead of you and behind you, and slowly returning back down to the floor. Alternating right and left. Nice big reach. Feel that stretch and release back down to the floor. Big reach. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Nice flat back. Strong core engaged. Good. Just moving at your own time. Keeping it nice and strong and stable. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Coming down into that elbow plank, we're gonna bring those toes up to tap the back of that heel. Similar to our shoulder tap, we're gonna make sure that we're not rocking side to side, keeping everything nice and strong and stable, hips and shoulders centered to the floor, and just marching at your own pace, tapping that heel and toe for 10, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Coming up to the palms, we're gonna bring it up to that down dog position or pike position and down to the plank. Here we are. Rotating through, reach those hips up towards the ceiling, come back to the plank. Reach it up and plank it down. Finding that center and that nice strong plank each time. Working hard not to let those hips drop down towards the floor. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come on back to that tabletop position. Second round through, let's take it to that bird dog. Big reach, and bring it in. Big reach, and bring it in. Using that breath, keeping everything nice and strong and stable. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Transitioning down onto those elbows, bringing out to the plank position, and tapping toe to heel. Tap and tap. Keeping those hips down in line with the spine. Belly pulled in, nice strong core. 10, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower down, bringing those palms to the floor, taking it to that pike to plank. In 3, 2, here we go. Hips up and plank. Good. Rotating through those shoulders and coming back to that nice strong plank each time. 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Take it back into that child's pose. Just let those hips settle down between the knees, reaching those fingertips out in front of you, settling that chest down towards the floor, and just breathing, relaxing into the mat. Walking those fingertips over to one side, settling that chest down towards the floor, stretching into the side body. Gently walking those fingertips back through the center and over to the other side, sinking down. Good. Come on back into the center. Just rocking yourself up all the way through that tabletop position. Let those hips drop down to the floor, opening into the front side of the body. Rocking back into that tabletop, bringing those palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips, letting that spine arch up towards the ceiling, dropping and tucking that tailbone, letting the top of the head come down to the floor. Good, nice big breath, taking those ribs down towards the mat, top of the tailbone and top of the head come up towards the ceiling. Good, coming back to that neutral spine. Let's just step one foot forward next to that palm, stretching into those hips. Good, release, step it back, take that opposite foot forward. Good, take that foot back. We're gonna lift onto those toes. So we're in that plank position. Taking one knee and bringing it between those palms. Just let yourself settle down over top of that leg, wherever it feels good for you. Maybe it's up here, maybe you're settling that chest down onto the floor. Wherever feels good for you, you're gonna find that nice deep stretch into the hip and glute. Good, release, bring those palms back to the mat, taking that foot out and bringing that opposite knee up between the palms, settling down over top of the leg, wherever feels good for you. Good, bringing those palms to the mat, releasing that leg. Coming back to the plank position, tucking those toes, send those hips up towards the ceiling. Find that down dog position, pressing the chest towards the floor and pushing those heels into the mat, hips to the ceiling. Good, and gently walking those hands back towards the feet, coming into that forward fold. Just let the head hang. Just let those arms hang. Gently rocking side to side if that feels good to you. Good. Come on back to the center and slowly rolling yourself up to a stand. Stack it all up, bringing that head up last. Let's take a nice big breath. Bring it up to the ceiling, sinking down into those hips. Come on up, fill those lungs. One more time, bring it down. Come on up, fill those lungs. Take all that hard work you just did and breathe it out. And give yourselves a huge hand. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day and we'll see you next time. Bye.